listen to this, man. He got some good news for you. Hey, man, listen. Hey, everybody, gather near. The doctor's in the house, so lend him your ear. The things he can say might even make your day. He might even help your pain go away. The doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. I'm sure he can tell you just what to do. The doctor is in the house.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the doctor is in the house. Welcome, everybody. This is Dr. Ron, host of Dr. Ron, Unfiltered, Uncensored. Today, unbelievable, podcasting episode 599. Welcome again, and it is a humbling experience that you do turn in and listen to this podcast. So today, we're wrapping up our discussion on dementia. We're going to focus now on what you can do to prevent it and, if needed, manage it more efficiently. Remembering that dementia is a complex condition, but lifestyle changes. Here we go again. Lifestyle changes and targeted treatments can make a difference. So just a little bit of review. We talked last time about a mnemonic for reversible causes of dementia. Dementia is spelled D-E-M-E-N-T-I-A, and every letter can stand for something. The D stands for drugs. The E for emotional disorders. The M for metabolic disorders. I guess I should tell you, we did this last week, hypothyroidism, diabetes, etc. The E for ears and eyes, vision and hearing loss, tremendously easy to control. N for normal pressure hydrocephalus. This is a fluid buildup in the brain. The T for tremors. The I for infections. The A for alcohol. So that's the mnemonic. So today, this subject was more involved than I thought, but we will dive deeply into this topic today. So let's get into it. Let's start again with the basics, the foundation of prevention. Physical activity, regular exercise isn't just good for your body, it's crucial for your brain. Physical activity, what does it do? It improves the blood flow to the brain. It boosts the release of chemicals that protect the brain cells. What should your goal be? Aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate exercise most days of the week. Number 2, mental stimulation. Challenge your brain. Engage in activities like puzzles, reading, or learning. Even learn a new skill. Why? Because they stimulate neural connections and promote resilience in your brain. Cognitive resilience is called. And 3, social engagement. Isolation and loneliness can accelerate cognitive decline, so stay connected. Whether it's meeting friends, joining a club, or volunteering. So lifestyle changes, the basic foundation of being healthy. Lifestyle changes. So physical activity, mental stimulation, and social engagement. And something you're not going to like hearing, cut back on screen time. One factor doesn't count, and that we don't count enough, is the time we spend at the screen. So what did we do? We have to cut back. So excessive exposure to that blue light from screens disrupts our sleep. And we're going to talk about sleep today. I have a special section on that because it is crucial for detoxification. Chronic screen exposure can lead to digital dementia. Yeah, it actually affects our memory and our focus. And I've told you in previous podcasts how it releases dopamine and we get addicted to the screen time. We're only going to check one more email, one more site, one more thing, one more that, and we end up spending too much time in front of the screen. So we have to limit our recreational screen time, especially before bed. So we have to, maybe a good idea would be incorporating digital detoxes into your routine. That includes your cell phones and your tablets. So lifestyle changes, cutting back on screen time, and something you don't hear a lot about, but it's really important, our spiritual well-being. It's often overlooked, ladies and gentlemen. Practices like meditation, prayer, mindfulness have been shown to reduce stress and here it comes again, inflammation, both of which are linked to cognitive decline. Meditation, prayer, mindfulness. Engage in spiritual practices. And engaging in them will foster a sense of purpose, emotional balance, and supports overall brain health. An attitude of gratitude. For Christians, read your Bible. That's when God is speaking to us. And prayer is when we speak to God. Spiritual well-being. I do have a section I'll talk, but I'm going to change it around a little bit. I've labeled it for my podcast, targeted treatments and supplements, but let's hold off on that one for a bit. Let's talk about nutrition. The fuel for the brain, and never underestimate the power of nutrition. Here's some key considerations, ladies and gentlemen. 1, healthy fats. Now, the cholesterol derangement syndrome is almost over. So let's not forget foods like avocado and olive oil, which provide essential fatty acids that support brain cell structure and function. And while I'm on this subject, just as a short rabbit trail, I will be doing a podcast on the dangers of low cholesterol. The dangers of low cholesterol. So we don't be sucked into the cholesterol derangement syndrome. So healthy fats, whole foods, avoid processed junk. There's where you're going to get your seed oils. Stick with whole, nutrient-dense foods that support your brain health. Again, so that I don't have to talk about it. Just a few weeks ago, we talked about seed oils. They are junk. They are processed, and they will kill you. Now, the omega-3 fatty acids that are found in salmon and flaxseed enhance cognitive function and reduce inflammation. And I am a proponent of the parent essential oils, which are minimal amounts of seed oils that are processed without heat, that are not adulterated, and that supply your body with the foundations to make its own omega-3 and omega-6 in the body's own fashion. So healthy fats, whole foods, or omega-3s, and number 4, antioxidants. Again, as nutrition, berries, dark chocolate, green tea. These are rich in antioxidants and combat that oxidative stress, which contributes to dementia. Let me talk a little bit about sleeping, because it is really important. Let's talk about the glymphatic system, which is a lymphatic system that drains the brain. It is the brain's waste clearance system. It is similar to the lymphatic system in the rest of the body. It uses the cerebral spinal fluid to flush out toxins, including, hear this, beta amyloid plaques. Why is that important? Because beta amyloid plaques are linked to Alzheimer's disease. And this system is most active during sleep, because research suggests that sleeping on your side rather than on your back or stomach enhances this glymphatic drainage. Gravity and fluid dynamics inside sleeping optimizes the flow of the cerebral spinal fluid, helping it to clear out waste more effectively. Side sleeping also is associated with reduced brain pressure. It reduces pressure on the brain, allowing for better circulation and drainage. And it has an evolutionary advantage because studies indicate that animals, including humans, naturally prefer side sleeping. And possibly because it does support brain health and does support waste clearance. All right, which side is better? Well, here's the consensus. The left side. Sleeping on the left side may be particularly beneficial as it also improves digestion and heart health and overall circulation. But if left side doesn't appeal to you, the right side is still effective for brain damage. Although if you have acid reflux, it may increase that in some people. So left is preferred, right is also good. What's the amount of sleep that you need? Well, aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep, which will allow that lymphatic activity to clear out waste. Have a consistent sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up at the same time enhances deep sleep cycles. Elevate your head slightly. A slight elevation helps cerebral spinal fluid to flow. In other words, you're working with gravity. And then avoid alcohol and heavy meals before bed because these can disrupt your sleep cycle. If you disrupt your sleep cycle, you impair your lymphatic function. So you can use a supportive pillow to maintain head alignment. You can elevate the head of your bed also. Let's just talk a little bit about medium chain triglyceride oil, MCT, and for most of us, it's going to be coconut oil. MCTs are found in coconut oil and pure MCT supplements. And why is this important? Because they are rapidly converted into ketones, which is an efficient energy source for the brain. And this is important because as we age, the brain's ability to use sugar or glucose decreases. And why is that important? Because it contributes to cognitive decline. Ketones, ladies and gentlemen, provide an alternate energy source which supports brain function and mental clarity. There are studies that suggest that this MCT oil, let's just say coconut oil, that's the organic coconut oil, enhances memory, enhances focus, enhances overall cognitive performance. It may also protect against neurodegeneration by reducing inflammation. Here we go with that inflammation again, huh? How do you use it? Well, start with a teaspoon a day and increase to 1 or 2 tablespoons. A lot of people, including your host, add it to the morning coffee. Others add it to smoothies and salad dressings. Okay, you just want to see where your sweet spot is so that you do not get any digestive discomfort. Here I go again. You're going to think I'm a broken record because I always talk about electromagnetic fields and electromagnetic exposure. That really is the hidden risk for cognitive health and for our own health. And we've talked about EMFs and mitochondria. We can't overlook it. It's not like secondhand smoke, which you can smell and get away from. Electromagnetic fields are all around you. Electromagnetic fields are from devices like smartphones, Wi-Fi routers, and other wireless technologies. And they can disrupt your brain function. And studies suggest that chronic exposure contributes to inflammation and contributes to that blood-brain barrier being opened up or disrupted, allowing toxins to get into your brain, all linked to cognitive decline and dementia. Really important not to put your cell phone up to your head, not to use your cell phone in an elevator where the electromagnetic fields increase because they're trying harder to connect with the towers. Same thing with your car. They increase because it's harder for them to reach the towers. Electromagnetic fields. Turn off your Wi-Fi routers at night. If I've said that once, I've said it 1,000 times. Use your airplane mode when your devices are not in use. And when you're using your computer, opt for a wired connection instead of a wireless one when possible, huh? Everything is, you have to take into your lifestyle, but opt for the ideal is a wired connection. I've talked to you about grounding mats. While you're seated, and while you're seated at your desk, maybe your feet could be on a grounding mat. And there are stores that sell electromagnetic field protective clothing, especially if you're in a high exposure area. Or like myself, I live in an apartment building, and if you look at the connections available for Wi-Fi, you'll find out all your neighbors they never turned theirs off. And that's why it's also important to turn off your EMF, because it allows for you to have a safer sleep environment, and keep your electronic devices out of the bedroom. If you can, use an analog alarm clock instead of a smartphone. And if possible, arrange your bed away from walls with electrical wiring. And here we go. My wife and I did this yesterday. Went for a walk on the beach. Walking barefoot on natural surfaces like grass and sand can neutralize the excess positive charges from EMF exposure. That definitely supports overall brain health. You get the electrons from Mother Earth. Really important, ladies and gentlemen. The sleep, the detoxification that occurs, really important. And our lifestyle choices. Well, before I finish up, I have a few things to talk to you about, and one is about methylene blue. This substance was used originally as a dye, but low doses of methylene blue have shown promise in enhancing mitochondrial function and slowing cognitive decline. It protects brain cells from oxidative stress. Okay, must be taken daily. I could recommend a book by Sloan on methylene blue. Really well written. You must use pharmaceutical grade methylene blue. Okay. And I think this is another subject I'll have to do another podcast on, or add to the one I did a couple months ago. But methylene blue is a treatment that you have to look into. 1% solution, most people take about 10 to 20 drops a day in any kind of liquid. Another additive that I think is critical, and I think everybody should be taking it, that's the amino acid glycine, Glycine. It's an amino acid. It supports neurotransmitter function and reduces inflammation. It improves the quality of sleep, and it is crucial for cognitive health. And it is the antidote to Roundup, glyphosate. Glyphosate replaces glycine in your system and can lead to tendon ruptures, can lead to dementia, because it can get into the blood, into the brain through a disrupted blood-brain barrier. Glycine is also a little bit sweet, so you could put it in your morning beverage along with the coconut oil. Glycine. Dr. Seneff from MIT has written multiple articles on glyphosate and how to treat it with glycine. All right, so we have methylene blue. We have glycine. A third thing would be ultra liquid zeolite. It's a natural mineral. It helps to detoxify heavy metals from your body. Why? Why is that important? Because we talked about it last week. Heavy metal accumulation is linked to neurodegeneration. And this can be a great preventative measure, keeping those toxic mercury, lead, arsenic out of your system. Zeolite, Zeolite. And last but not least, systemic enzymes. you don't make systemic enzymes after age 27 or 29. These enzymes reduce inflammation and improve circulation, which enhances nutrient delivery to the brain. So we want to keep that brain healthy. Systemic enzymes do that. The strongest, most powerful systemic enzyme is one produced by Dr. Wang's, I forget his complete name down there in Texas, but Dr. Wang's Zymessence, Zymessence. Dr. Wang's Essentials. Okay. I really highly recommend that as a go-to supplement. It is anti-inflammatory. It is antiviral. It can reduce fibrin. It's incredible product. I recommend it. I don't get any remuneration. It's just that Dr. Wang has been on this program many times talking about Zymessence. So things that you can do: methylene blue, glycine, zeolite, and systemic enzymes, along with your lifestyle changes, cutting back on screen time, turning off those Wi-Fi routers at night, and avoiding medications that are associated with dementia. I made a list rather than just talk about it. Excuse that. So here's what we have. We have benzodiazepines, right? They are drugs that treat anxiety and insomnia, but they have a sedative effect on the brain and have been associated with dementia. Anticholinergics is another class of drugs used to treat a variety of conditions, including allergy, depression, overactive bladder. Long-term use has been linked to an increased risk of dementia. Statin drugs, these drugs are commonly used to lower cholesterol levels, but your brain needs cholesterol. However, some studies are suggesting that long-term use may increase the risk of developing dementia. Antipsychotic drugs used to treat schizophrenia and bipolar disorders. They have a sedative effect on the brain, and long-term use has been associated with an increased risk of dementia. Certain types of antidepressants, such as tricyclic antidepressants, have been associated with an increased risk of dementia when used over a long period of time. So if you can avoid those and work with your healthcare practitioner and find a more natural remedy, you may be able to ward off dementia in the first place. Okay, so let's look at a couple things. We talked about the risk factors. I just want to elucidate a few. Keep educating yourself. It's important to keep those neurons active. If you have any hearing loss, don't be proud about it. Go get your hearing checked and get hearing aids if you need them. If you experience traumatic brain injuries, if you were in the Pop Warner League or played college football and any chance that you had head injury, you were knocked out in boxing or whatever, just make sure you get checked regularly and do take the methylene blue. I would really recommend that. My personal recommendation, maybe not everybody else, but that's what I recommend. And I don't recommend you taking my advice lightly. Just check it out. Be more active physically, because physical inactivity is associated with dementia. And don't be socially isolated. It's one of the reasons people are moving into communities, because they have more chance of interacting with other individuals. Be careful of the drugs, right? Really, really important. As I said last week, over 40% of dementia diagnoses may be incorrect in the first place because of these reversible conditions that mimic its symptoms. It could be a nutritional deficiency. You must seek a healthcare provider. It could be a hormonal balance, mainly affecting the thyroid, either under or overactive, that can masquerade as dementia. I'm pausing because I don't know how to say this. Japanese neuroscientist Dr. Hiroto Komano. He's been alarmed at the explosive surge of dementia. And what group is he concerned about? He's very concerned about the group that had an experimental vaccine injected into them. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to give you his name one more time. Hiroto, Hiroto, Komano, Komano. Look it up. And I guess one other thing I should mention is because I told you about glycine that counteracts the Roundup, the glyphosine, but pesticides generally are brain damaging. So eat as much whole food and organic food as you can afford, because we don't know a lot of the long-term effects of these pesticides. And as Robert Kennedy said yesterday, we use a lot more in America than in Europe. You have to be more careful. Some of the chemicals that are banned in Europe, we still use them here. Look at the Environmental Working Group, EWG. Look at their recommendations for the fruit and vegetables. It's called the Dirty Dozen. They're the ones you should avoid. And boy, I really recommend just live life with a purpose. Have a purpose every day when you get up. Have something you're going to do. So that's basically what I want to talk about today. We will talk more in the future on low cholesterol, and I just reminded myself we have to do another podcast on methylene blue. It's really an important supplement. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Ron. You can listen to this podcast on Podbean if you subscribe to the Podbean app. Dr. Ron Unfiltered, Uncensored. They will advise you when I have a live show or a recorded show goes on the air. My podcast is available in most places where you receive and listen to your podcasts. If you like it, you like what you hear, maybe you could pass it on to a friend. And just know dementia is not inevitable. If we adopt the right lifestyle choices, if we focus on mental and spiritual well-being and utilize targeted supplements, we can significantly reduce our risk or slow its progression. So again, if you found this or any other of the episodes helpful, share it with others who you think could benefit. And as always, if you have questions or topics, reach out to me, DocRon Radio, DocRon Radio @gmail.com. So until the next time, wishing you good health and a sharp mind. Stay informed, stay healthy, stay unfiltered, and God bless and be well. See you next time.
Hey everybody, Dr. Ron's finished for today. I hope you got some good wisdom for what the man had to say. If it's all about good health, he's the man you got to see. He has a lot more answers for you. So tune in next week when the doctor is in the house. Or when the doctor is in the house. And let the doctor know what's bothering you. When the doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. Doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. I'm sure he can tell you just what to do. The doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. When the doctor is in the house. So if you have a pain, call the doctor. If you have a strain, call the doctor. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. When the doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. See you next week.